Joining us now, House Minority Leader, Democratic Congressman Hakeem Jeffries of New York. Of course, we want to talk to you about the looming shutdown. But first, would like to get your reaction and what you're hearing from your colleagues on the Hill about the Jimmy Kimmel situation being yanked off the air.
Well, good morning. Great to be with you. Democrats in the House and the Senate are deeply disturbed by the events. This is another example of Donald Trump and the Trump administration weaponizing the federal government to go after perceived political adversaries and enemies, and part of an ongoing war against the First Amendment. It's unacceptable, it's unconscionable, and it's un-American.
So, Leader Jeffries, what can Democrats do about it then? That is the issue. Right now, we played some clip a moment ago, Congressman Swalwell with his Jimmy Kimmel Live hat, talking about this on the House floor. But right now, in the minority, with the president, using executive powers to do this, what sort of roadblocks, if any, can you put forth right now?
Well, Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, has announced a Democratic-led investigation into the recent events related to Jimmy Kimmel, the FCC, and ABC and their toxic decision-making, as well as a broader investigation into the Trump administration's pay-to-play scheme that is massive, ongoing, and part of the culture of corruption that we've witnessed in Washington since January 20th.
So, Leader Jeffries, there's been so much, obviously, in the news, particularly in the last couple of weeks. One thing that I think has snuck up on a lot of Americans is the idea that we're potentially on the brink of a government shutdown. Can you talk to us about the latest there and what Democrats are putting forth?
House Democrats have made clear that we will support a bipartisan spending agreement as long as it improves the quality of life of the American people in terms of their health care, public safety, and their economic well-being, particularly as it relates to driving down the high cost of living. Unfortunately, what Republicans have done is choose to continue their ongoing assault on the health care of the American people. This partisan Republican spending bill continues to gut the health care of everyday Americans, building on the largest tax cut or largest cut to Medicaid in American history that was part of the One Big Ugly Bill, the assault on Medicare, which will face a potentially $536 billion cut at the end of the year because of the One Big Ugly Bill. Hospitals are closing, nursing homes are shutting down, community-based health clinics are being forced to close all across the country, including in rural America. Premiums, copays, and deductibles for tens of millions of Americans are about to skyrocket, and Republicans also are trying to short-circuit the Affordable Care Act, and at the same time, they're going after medical research in the United States of America. This is an ongoing and unrelenting assault on health care, and our view is cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care for the American people. That's the Democratic position.
So a shutdown obviously has consequences that are very immediate. Are you prepared to make sure you have a message that you can deliver to the American people about why Democrats will actually take it to a shutdown if necessary?
Well, to be clear, Republicans control the House, the Senate, and Donald Trump is a Republican president. They have the responsibility to fund the government, and we're prepared to work with them if they do it in a responsible way. However, we can't support this partisan Republican spending bill because it continues to gut the health care of the American people. That's the message. We're standing on the side of everyday Americans who are already facing a high cost of living environment. Donald Trump promised to lower costs. Instead, the failure of Republicans to act in the context of this most recent spending bill is going to jack up premiums, copays, and deductibles for everyday Americans and make life more expensive. That's a problem. That's not anything that we can support.
Leader, the cuts from what he calls his big beautiful bill on Medicaid are very unpopular. Do you are you all attempting to recruit some Republican support? There's a lot of Republicans in the House that come from difficult districts for them politically where these cuts are unpopular. Do you think that you could peel some people off to support this position and actually get it enacted?
It is clear to me that there are Republicans in the House and the Senate who are publicly on record saying that some of these cuts need to be reversed and that the tax credits that are part of the Affordable Care Act that allow tens of millions of Americans to afford access to high-quality health care, that those should be renewed. But unfortunately, when it comes to actually acting in the context of legislation, many Republicans talk a good game, but then always bend the knee to Donald Trump's extreme agenda. Hopefully, this time will be different with the health care of the American people on the line.
House Minority Leader, Democratic Congressman Hakeem Jeffries of New York, thank you very much.